Good afternoon, everybody. Do we see who we have on? We don't have to wait for these things yet. We have to wait for Scott to jump on and leave this over here. I'm going to see to the bulk of the presentation.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Scott. Good, Scott. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Chip just texted. He's gonna jump on. I forwarded him the link, and John too. It might be good to have him on in case we want to just talk about like this while everyone's here, like the status of the curtain wall and the other building leak remediation work. But the main goal of this meeting was just to get that signage PCO approved formally with the committee because it's over the 25,000 threshold. So we
So why
can,
don't we, I'll call the meeting to order here and
Sure.
then we'll, go down the agenda based on, I'll go down based on who's here and who's ready to go.
sure.
Okay, well, seeing it's 2:02, I'll call to order the meeting of the Police and Court Building Committee meeting on May 28, 2025. We're at the Harbor Master's office and the public has been invited to join if they so choose to via Zoom link that's on the agenda. Starting with the first agenda item, I know Scott had sent out the minutes from the previous meeting. I'm looking for a motion to accept and approve the previous meeting minutes. Motion made by Mike Hill. Seconded by Sean Bushy. I guess we don't have any voting members online, so we can do a simple call. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those against, anybody recusing? The ayes have it, meeting minutes are accepted. So Scott, are you prepared? You want to just jump right into the agenda item for today regarding the signage?
Sure, yep. I will pull up that PCO just so everyone can see it. It should be right here. Okay, so this is PCO number 210. It was PR 151 for the exterior sign addition. This was for the new front entry PD sign to replace the old one, as well as provide some electrical to light the sign, and just some waterproofing work from or actually brickwork from Folan Waterproofing. They have a little bit of work to do around the signage, so this thing's been out there for a little while, but the cost was 26,370, including any markups and stuff like that. So this was the only one we had to approve here. And I can run through some of the backup if you'd like, or if there's any questions on what this sign is, just let me know.
So I guess I can add a little bit to that this signage was something we talked about early on. It wasn't part of the initial, was certainly not part of the initial design work that we had. But we felt, given some of the improvements we did to the exterior, which were relatively minimal to what we did in the interior, provided a lot of, it made the building feel newer on the outside. I think we can all agree that the new glass and the lighting along the curvature of what is the courtroom part of the building has provided a lot of, has improved the look of the building and made it look a little bit more modern, particularly at night. And the signage was considered to be, that would tie into that more modern look. So, and it's going to be backlit I think we agreed on the lettering for both the police and the court. In addition to the aesthetic of it all, it also provides us with, helps us identify the building as a police station to the public, particularly given the amount of tourists and non-residents that travel along Main Street. That along with the blue Volvo front. My knowledge has not been confused for a snow emergency bulb, but helps identify the police department, sort of an international sign. So I think that's was the reasoning behind improving that and requesting this change order. So having said that from the chair, do I have any questions from any committee members? It's going to match the brick. So it's going to be a little bit of a bump out from the brick. You can see when you go by there, when they went up underneath and did all that work early on and added the new lights and put the fire suppression up underneath. They also ran conduit and electrical out to the front should we ever choose to upgrade the signage. So the electrical is all there for it. We don't have to do any of that work. It's all ready to go. But they have, rather than attach the sign directly to the brick, they're going to create a little bit of a bump out. So the electronics that go with the sign will be hidden from the public. So I think it's going to look nice. It's kind of like similar to the West Parish school sign where it's backlit like that. I think it's going to add to the building. Seeing no other discussion, I'll accept the motion to regarding the change order.
Motion to accept PCO number 210. Amount of $26,370.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Motion made by Mike Hill, seconded by Sean Bushy. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing none, the motion passes. Okay, so we'll get back onto the agenda. I see Chip's joined us. Chip, in terms of agenda item number 2, presentation, current state of the project, do you have anything to add? Any comment?
No, we're just kind of working through some of the unforeseen, detailing that where the work of the project kind of tied into the building, but working with WT Rich and Scott and in the court really on that. A lot of that's more their space that is affected. So,
Okay, John, you have anything from WT Rich side?
No, following Chip's sentiment that we're working on finalizing the pricing for the firing range wall and the judges chamber wall. We went back at Greenwood yesterday with their price that we got, so hoping to have something revised either end of this week or early into next week. The rest of the package is kind of ready to go, and so we'll pass that along and hopefully get that approved and get that work going. And curtain wall, we have a call on Tuesday with Kapeloff, the design team, CMS, to just talk through a game plan of getting that resolved and getting that fixed, and remove the temporary tarp that we have there now currently, and just some other small things. I have all the flash drives and all the hard as-built and warranty and O&M binders sitting in the back of my truck currently. So Sean, I'll coordinate with you or Mike or Joe to get up there and kind of drop that stuff off. Who makes the most sense to drop all those documents off to?
How many copies do you have, John, of that stuff?
I have 2 of each of the binders, and the binders are like 6 inches thick. And then I have 1 copy of physical as-built, and then flash drives 2 copies of flash drives for everything. It's like 4 boxes worth of stuff.
Does it make sense to keep 1 copy at the PD and 1 copy with the DPW?
Most likely, yeah. That's what I would think.
Yes, so if you want to, coordinate with me, I'll get a copy of it to the DPW.
Sure.
Joe.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you after this about just taking a ride up there, probably next week sometime, dropping everything off for you.
Okay.
And then there's a couple small things. We got the door hardware up on the level 2 in the courtroom. We have the part that just came in, so we're going to try to get there Monday to fix that with BCM and our door supplier TCI. And other than that, we're pretty much closed out. Just these last couple of things that are lingering out there, and I don't want anyone to think that we're not all over trying to take care of it. We don't want this building leaking any more than anyone else does. So we're putting up, everyone's kind of putting their heads together to figure out the best way to get this stuff done and stop the leaks. That's all I
So,
got.
so we had sent Mike, we had sent you that PCO for the weatherization work. There was two options on that. There was the covering the parapet walls with roofing membrane, and then there was another option to do like a rain screen, some metal panels. All of them have, a bunch of moving parts, with different trades involved, including an owner, vendor with Allcom to remove some kind of like be on site to remove the clips on the wall where the communication wires go across to waterproof that wall, and then reapply those back on. I know we had some conversations about the ROM pricing on that, and I believe you had said that you have funding available for that. I do think that this should go through, as the committee and through this project team to formalize that if that's the direction, which I believe, our discussions is that's the way you want to move forward with it. But I just didn't know about how we wanna, when we want to vote for that, or if we want to vote for that at this meeting or set something up for in the near future, because the last step we're doing now with that particular scope is John Rich has gone back to Greenwood to get them to give us their best and final on that. So John, I don't know if you know when we're expecting to get that back and when we could start work, because we're gonna have to pull a new permit for this work because the existing permit's closed. Um, but we've been talking about this obviously for a while. So it's obviously part of the project. We just we didn't have the funds for this scope of work.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have it either end of this week, but I'm out on Friday. If not early next week, and then everything else is packaged and ready to go. So it's
Mhm.
just getting that final number from Greenwood, deciding which one we're gonna go with, whether it's the membrane or the metal screen. And then all be packaged up, and then ultimately starting the work, depends on approval, getting the material. We're probably looking at like end of June, after the 4th would be my guess as to when we'll start, if everything kind of falls in line with approvals and getting pricing.
So we're definitely we're gonna need to vote on this.
Mhm.
Either as a not to exceed or just set up another meeting in a week or two. Once we have that wrapped up to formally vote on it. What do you got? What's the committee prefer?
What's the public notice you have to provide?
48 hours.
48. So I think we should have not a price not to exceed, but a price. And so
Yeah.
I think the change order should come with an actual hard number on it. Once we have that, we can a chief can post for another meeting, and then we could set the meeting whenever that is. If we get it Monday, we could post it for, Thursday.
Right.
But I don't think it's fair just to do it not to exceed, because I think we need a real price.
Sure. Yeah, that's like the only part of the pricing that'll be not fully vetted is where the electrician wants to go T&M on the wall. It's tough for them to quantify taking conduit off the wall and putting it back on in timeline. So we're carrying just a number for that, like an allowance, and anything not used will just be credited back.
Like a sub trade like that, I can understand, but overall project that's good.
Yeah, totally agree. Yep, definitely.
And then for Allcom, we'll have to get them out there to just to go over that scope and see if we can work something out with them to have them on T&M, which I think is honestly might be a good way to do it with them. Alternatively, we just, we can ask them for a hard price, but I'll reach out to Delvis. to try to chase that down.
Yeah, I don't want to be doing this again in 4 weeks, so let's try to get this right the first time and vote on
Yeah.
it. Towards the
No,
end of the
agreed.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
easy for us to do to put together a meeting.
Where are we leaking now?
Judge's chamber. Which is interesting, because I was in there for almost 2 years and never had a leak. So something's been redirecting the water down there, not sure what. That was after that last heavy rain.
Well, fortunately, weather pattern looks like it's changed, so we just had 7 inches of rain, which is enough for 2 months, so hopefully June's dry. And we can get in there right after the holiday.
Okay.
Any more on that? Any more on the leaking? Scott, do you have anything else to add on that?
No, just we'll hopefully so next Tuesday we have a meeting with Kapeloff, and I believe we're bringing Folan into that to talk about the curtain wall issues and that leak. So and then Chip and Lee were going to formalize the recommendation they have to waterproof above that system behind the panels that were taken off. So ideally we'll have that pricing at the same time. I don't want to hold up the other work, so we may have to just, we may just have to set up a meeting to approve this bigger weatherization work. And then have a separate meeting to once we know any cost impact on the curtain wall improvements above that. So, but like I said, ideally, maybe we'll have that pricing in. Maybe, John, I don't know. That's probably a push if we're going to be having a meeting in 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah,
but if-
we haven't even had a chance to give anyone pricing opportunities for that work, but ultimately we want to because we'll be on site during the roof weatherization, so it just limits the exposure of having supervision out there.
yeah, if we can stack them on top of each other, that would be ideal.
Great.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
We're gonna have to have an internal conversation too about funding. Right, because I mean, the funding to vote here might be outside the scope of the building committees.
Yeah, we can talk about that offline.
Great, so there's nothing further on that. Discussion, I'll move on to the last agenda item, which is other business matters known at the time of the posting may legally come before the committee. Does anybody have any new business or old business they'd like to discuss?
I just have 3 small invoices that we just got in fairly recently. I didn't have a chance to put them on a payment recommendation letter. If you guys want to vote on them now, we can. Otherwise, we can push them off for a couple weeks, a week or two. I've had them for, I don't know, probably a week or two now. But there's 2 from the GRLA for some testing they did. One was like $125, and the other one was 2,000 and change. And there was one from BCM that looks like their last invoice for $9,215.21. The only issue with that one is that the number that I'm showing in my budget is for remaining is less than this. So I just have to I have a message into Lauren to just see what's left in the PO to see which one, see if this is incorrect invoice or if there's like a math error on one of the spreadsheets.
Scott, why don't you sit on those? We're meeting in a week or so.
Right.
So
I'll
let's
sit
get-
on them. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. It's not gonna.
They're too small to really.
We're running GRLA through us, so I'll probably just pay them and hold on to it. So, but that's not a problem.
Yeah, I agree. We're gonna have a meeting here soon, give the committee members time to
I'll-
review documents.
By then I'll know, I'll have this figured out with BCM and then I'll put them on a payment recommendation letter like I normally do.
Great. Anyone else? Seeing none and seeing no other agenda items, Anything from the committee before we take the motion? I'll be looking for a motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
made by Mike Hill, second.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? Seeing none, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
You guys.
Yeah.